So seeing my country torn apart from the inside out, I mean, it just really was tearing me apart. And I was crying out to God, help me find some peace amidst all this crazy madness. And I have found some peace. I have found some peace when the Spirit spoke to my heart the solution for all the troubles that we're seeing today. It's about forgiveness. It's forgiveness. I mean, what we need is forgiveness. And that is the answer for so many of the ills when we see injustice. Now, forgiveness does not mean we forget. Forgiveness does not mean that we forget about injustice. Forgiveness does not mean that we don't seek to right the wrongs so that they don't happen again. Forgiveness does not mean that we don't seek for changes in our systems and the way that we interact with each other. It doesn't mean that we ignore what's inside each one of us individually. Forgiveness doesn't mean that. Forgiveness means we're not going to seek revenge. We're not going to seek retaliation. We're not going to seek reparation. We're not going to seek rage. We're not going to use those means by which the evil of the injustice that has been perpetuated on us perpetuates further onto other people. This is why the Savior said in the Doctrine and Covenants that of you is required to forgive all men, and upon him who will not forgive remains the greater sin. The sin is greater in the one who will not forgive, because the one who does not forgive allows evil to be perpetuated further. The evil that comes from the injustice that creates this desire in us to get even, this desire for catharsis, that everything needs to be equaled out. Oh, you took my eye out, so I'm going to take your eye out. That desire to get back, to get even, to make someone else suffer the way we suffered. Without forgiveness, evil continues to be perpetuated from person to person, from place to place, from generation to generation. And the only thing that stops it is forgiveness. We have to forgive. We have to stop the evil. You know, if you have a problem of an overflowing bathtub, the first step to correcting that problem is to shut the water off. Turn off the faucet. And that's what we need to do with the problems that we see, not only in our society, but amongst us as singles. Because how many of us, and I mentioned this in the monologue, how many of us as singles have endured injustice? I mean, stories of singles who try to interact with their ward, especially at church on Sunday, and just feel like they're lost, they're ignored, they're marginalized, they're ignored. They're not a part of the main scene that's going on. They don't feel connected to their ward. They feel like they're just being tolerated. Those stories abound, and they have abounded, not just for the last year or 2 years or 5 years. That's been with us for at least the last 30, 40 years. It's across the generations. So that tells me there's a serious problem going on. And the brethren see that. They realize it. But their solution is not to, set the singles down and say, okay, we're going to give you some, we're going to give you some reparations here for all the wrong that we've done. And, we're so sorry. No. They come from a place of forgiveness. Let's not, dwell on the past injustice. Let's recognize that it's there, and let's make changes in ourselves. And so what have they been doing? They've been exerting themselves, not exactly dealing with the problem head on. It's been very indirect, but they've been encouraging, people to come together and be more unified. They've been encouraging people to love everyone in spite of the differences that we have. And when we come together with those differences and we recognize that, those differences can make us stronger, and we come together in love and unity, then we really do become stronger because of the differences that we have.
Howdy peeps,
I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Join the Journey radio program. And if you did, be sure to click subscribe so you can get more clips in the future. And be sure to check out the Join the Journey radio program broadcast every Wednesday night on the Join the Journey radio network. Find more information at jointhejourneyradio.com.